Welcome back to Geography class, chapter number 2, Physical Division of India. We have already started the chapter in the previous class, and this is the second part. In this part, we will explain the major physiographical divisions of India. We have the 6 major physiographical divisions of India. Number 1 here presents the northern mountains. Number 2 is presenting northern plains. Number 3 is showing the Thar Desert. Number 4 is presenting the peninsular plateau region. Number 5 is showing the coastal plains. And number 6 is showing the island groups. The Himalayan mountains, these are the geologically young and structurally folded mountains which run along the northern borders. The longitudinal division of these Himalayas are Himadri, Himachal and Shivaliks. Himadris are the northernmost range and most continuous range, consisting of the loftiest peaks with the average height of 6,000 meters. These mountains have the perennial rivers. Perennial rivers are those rivers which contain water throughout the year because of the snow-covered mountains. The second range of the Himalayas is the Himachal. It is to the south of Himadri and it is formed of the most rugged mountain systems. The famous valleys of this range are the Kashmir, the Kangra Valley, the Kullu Valley. And these areas are famous for its hill stations. The third range or the outermost range of the Himalayas is Shivaliks. These Shivaliks are covered with a thick gravel and alluvium, and they have the dunes named as Dehradun, Kotli Dune and Patli Dune. Here you can see the 3 ranges of Himalayas. Number 1 is presenting the Great Himalayas, that is the Himadri. Number 2 is showing the Lesser Himalayas or the Himachal, and number 3 is presenting Shivaliks. Himalayas divisions could be also in the basis of regions from east to west. Divisions have been made by the river valleys. This east-west division has been made by the river valleys. So it is marked in the 4 categories: Punjab Himalayas, Kumaon Himalayas, Nepal Himalayas and Assam Himalayas. Children, here you can see the Sikkim Himalayas also, but this one you can merge with Nepal Himalayas. So let us describe these Himalayas. Punjab Himalayas, the part of Himalayas which lie between river Indus and river Satluj from west to east respectively, is known as Kashmir or Himachal Himalayas also. Kumaon Himalayas are the Himalayas which lies in the part of the Himalayas between river Satluj and river Kali. Nepal Himalayas are those Himalayas which lie between river Kali and river Tista. And Assam Himalayas are the parts lying between river Tista and Dihang rivers. The 5th category on the basis of division of Himalayas from east to west is the Purvanchal. They are also called as Eastern Hills and Eastern Mountains. The mountain range of eastern India, it is marked by the Brahmaputra, and the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of India after the Dihang Gorge. These hills running through the northeast states, that is Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura and eastern Assam states, and are mostly composed of strong sandstones which are sedimentary rocks. Hills are covered with dense forest here, and the important hills which comprises this area are Patkai Hills, the Naga Hills, Manipur Hills, and the Mizo Hills. Here you can see the east-west division of Himalayas, the Punjab Himalayas, the Kumayu Himalayas, Nepal and Sikkim Himalayas could be merged together, and the Assam Himalayas. And the part of East India, the Eastern India, that is the Purvanchal Himalayas. Our next physiographical division comes the Northern Plains. The Northern Plain has been formed by the interplay of three major river systems. Those three major rivers are the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra, along with its tributaries. This northern plain is formed of alluvial soil. The vast basin lying to the foothills of the Himalayas is deposited with alluvium, that is the fine particles of silt and clay and large particles of sand and gravel, for over millions of years and formed this plain. The area of Northern Plain is near about 7 lakh square kilometer. The length of the Northern Plain is 2,400 kilometer and the breadth of the Northern Plain is 240 to 320 kilometers. The depositions of the Northern Plain in a vast basin lying to the foothills of the Himalayas over millions of years, and thus it formed this fertile plain. This plain is having a very rich soil cover, which is combined with adequate water supply and favorable climate, as it is agriculturally very productive part of India. The rivers coming from the northern plains brought a huge amount of eroded soil which help in the depositional work. In the lower course, due to the gentle slope, the velocity of the river decreases, which results in the formation of riverine islands. And what is riverine island? Riverine islands are islands which are formed by the rivers. And in our country, the Ambala area is the famous riverine island. Also, in lower course, rivers split into numerous channels due to the deposition of silt known as distributaries. The northern plains could be also broadly divided into three parts: the Punjab plains, the Ganga plains, and the Brahmaputra plains. The Punjab plains, the western part of the northern plains formed by the river Indus and its tributaries, the large part of this plain lies in Pakistan. The tributaries of this river Indus are the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas, and the Satluj. They all originate in the Himalayas, and this section of the plain is dominated by the Doabs. Doabs are made up of two words, do meaning two and ab meaning water. Similarly, Punjab is also made up of two words, Panj meaning five and Ab meaning water. The Ganga Plains. The Ganga Plains extends between Ghagar and Testa rivers. It is spread over the states of North India, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, and partly Jharkhand and West Bengal to its east. And particularly in Assam lies the Brahmaputra plains. The Brahmaputra Plains lies to the east of Ganga Plain, particularly in the Assam side. The northern plain is not flat land. The vast plains also have diverse relief features. So here you can see the three divisions of the northern plains, that is the Punjab plains, Ganga plains and the Brahmaputra plains. Northern plains can be divided into four regions on the basis of relief features also. These vast plains also have diverse relief features. According to the variations in the relief features, the northern plains can be divided into four regions. The rivers, after the descending from the mountains, deposits pebbles in a narrow belt of about 8 to 16 km in width, lying parallel to the slopes of the Shivaliks. And this area, which is formed of the pebbles just below at the footstep of the mountains, is known as Bhabar. All the streams disappear in this Bhabar belt. South to this belt, the streams and the rivers re-emerge and create a wet, swampy and marshy region known as Tarai. This was a thickly forested region full of wildlife. The forests have been cleared to create agricultural land and to settle migrants from Pakistan after partition. The largest part of the northern plain is formed of older alluvium, and they lie above the footplains of the rivers and present a terrace-like feature. This part is known as Bhangar. The soil in this region contains calcareous deposits, locally known as Kankar. The newer, younger deposits of the floodplains are called Khadar. They are renewed almost every year and so are fertile. Thus, these are ideal for intensive agriculture. The next physiographical division of India is the Plateau region. The Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is a tableland which is composed of old crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rocks. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land, and the Peninsular Plateau of India has two broad divisions, the Central Highland and the Deccan Plateau. Here you can see the three divisions, that is the Central Highland number 1, number 2 is the Chota Nagpur Plateau, that is also the part of the Central Highland itself, and number 2 is presenting Deccan Plateau. Let us describe the Central Highland. The Central Highland lies to the north of the Narmada River, covering a major area of the Malwa Plateau. The Vindhyan Range is bounded by the Central Highlands on the south and the Aravalis on the northwest. The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and rocky desert of Rajasthan. Rivers in this area are the Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa and the Cane. The Central Highlands are wider in the west but narrow in the east. The eastward extensions of this plateau are locally known as the Bundelkhand and the Bhagalkhand. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. The second part of the Peninsular Plateau region is the Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau is a triangular landmass that lies to the south of the river Narmada. The Satpura range bound its broad base in the north, while the Mahadev and Kaimur hills and the Maikal range form its eastern extensions. It is higher in the west and slopes gently eastwards. An extension of the Deccan Plateau is also visible in the northeast, locally known as the Meghalaya Karbi Anglong Plateau and North Kachar Hills. It is separated by a fault from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Three prominent hill ranges from the west to east are the Garo Hills, the Khasi Hills, and the Jaintia Hills. The Peninsular Plateau also has one more important part named as Deccan Trap. The distinct feature of the Peninsular Plateau is the black soil area known as Deccan Trap. This of volcanic origin, hence the rocks are igneous. These rocks are denuded over time and are responsible for the formation of black soil. The Aravalli Hills lie on the western and northwestern margins of the Peninsular Plateau. These are highly eroded and are formed as broken hills. They extend from Gujarat to Delhi. Here you can see the rocks of the Deccan Trap and the marking of the Deccan Trap on the western area of India. The southern part of India, the Peninsular Plateau consists of Western Ghats as well as the Eastern Ghats. The Western Ghats lies along the Arabian Sea. They stretch from the Tapi River to Kanyakumari in the south. The average height is 900 to 1600 meters. These ghats are continuous in nature and can be crossed through passes only. Highest peak of the Western Ghat is Annaimudi, which is 2695 meters. Average width of these ghats is 50 to 80 kilometers, and Western Ghats is source of many rivers, as many rivers originate from this Western Ghat and they move towards the eastern side. Eastern Ghat lies along the Bay of Bengal. It stretches from Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiri Hills in the south. Average height of the Eastern Ghats is near about 1600 meters. These ghats have been divided into several parts by the large rivers. The highest peak of Eastern Ghat is Mahendragiri of 1501 meters. Width varies from 100 to 200 kilometers, and no big river originate from the Eastern Ghat, because the rivers originate from the Western Ghat and they make their delta in the Eastern Ghat. As you can see here, the Western Ghats are very narrow, whereas the Eastern Ghats are very wide. Next comes the Indian desert. The Indian desert lies towards the western margins of the Aravalli Hills. It is a land of undulating topography covered with the sand dunes, and this region receives very low rainfall, below 150 mm per year. It has arid climate with low vegetation cover. Luni is the only large river in this region, and the Barchans are the crescent-shaped dunes. So the Barchans cover the larger area, but longitudinal dunes become the more prominent near the Indo-Pak boundaries. Here you can see the picture of Barchan dunes, the Barchan sand dunes. Next comes the coastal plains. The narrow coastal strip flank the Peninsular Plateau. running along the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east. Arabian Sea coast consists of three sections. That is, the western coastal plains consist of three sections: the Konkan plains, the Kannada plains, as well as the Malabar plains. On the other hand, eastern coastal plains consist of two parts. The northern part is named as the Northern Circle and the southern part is named as a Coromandel coast. The large rivers such as the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri have formed extensive delta on the eastern coast, due to which the eastern ghats are not at all regular. They are broken because most of the prominent rivers, they form their delta in the eastern ghats. Lake Chilika is an important feature along the eastern coast. The sixth physiographical division is the island groups. The Lakshadweep Islands as well as the Andaman Nicobar Islands. The Lakshadweep Island group in the Arabian Sea is close to Kerala. This group of islands is composed of small coral islands. The Lakshadweep Islands were earlier known as Lakadiv, Minikoi or Amindivs. It covers the small area of 32 square kilometer. Kavarati Island is the administrative headquarters of this Lakshadweep. Here you can see the Lakshadweep Island as well as the Andaman Nicobar Islands. Kavarati Island is the administrative headquarters, that is the capital also of the Lakshadweep. The Piti Island, which is uninhabited, has a bird sanctuary. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are an elongated chain of islands located in the Bay of Bengal. They are bigger in size and are more numerous and scattered. The entire group of islands is divided into two broad categories: the Andaman in the north and the Nicobar in the south. These islands are an elevated portion of submarine mountains, and the capital of Andaman Nicobar is Port Blair. Here you can see the corals, which forms the Lakshadweep Island, and the Piti Island, which is having the bird sanctuary. Here you can see the Barren Island, which is the part of Andaman Nicobar, and the capital of Andaman Nicobar is Port Blair. This Andaman Nicobar is the island which is having the active volcano. The last content of the chapter is how these diverse physical features useful for India. The mountains are the major source of water and forest wealth. The northern plains are the granaries of the country because these areas are agriculturally productive. The plateaus is a storehouse of the minerals which has played a crucial role in the industrialization of the country. And the coastal regions and the island groups, they provide the sites for fishing and the port activities. So here we conclude with the Geography chapter number 2, Physical Division of India.